Good morning and welcome everybody to Haylett RV. At least it's morning for me right now. Close enough. Today we've got the 6,295 pound Black Label Grey Wolf 26 DBH. We like to carry this floor plan both ways. We've actually got, and I will reference several times I'm sure, because I always seem to do that, a full video tour of this in the standard series already that'll give you a little bit more comprehensive information. What I want to do is give you a good overview of this today, as well as point out a couple of the Black Label specific features. And I've got a couple little kind of points to consider and some pro tips along the way for you, so you'll want to make sure you catch this one as well. If you've never seen this floor plan before, though, it's like everybody and their brother makes something like this, but for good reason. This is a really effective floor plan, and it packs a lot into a small space, relatively speaking. It does have a full super slide. It has excellent travel accessibility. You can walk all the way in and out of this thing without having to go inside or outside or doing the Dukes of Hazzard to climb over nothing. It's very easy in that regard, so it's great if it's in storage mode. It's great if you make a travel stop and you're too close to something next to you to open the slide. Not to mention, in the Black Label edition, you have like the look of a laminated trailer, but something a lot of people don't realize is a Black Label is not an aluminum structured trailer. Most of the time when you see fiberglass, you go, oh, that's aluminum. All Cherokee Grey Wolf products are always a stick-built trailer, kind of like their Wolf Pups. Same thing, you can get the fancy Black Label package, but we're not changing the skeleton. What we're actually doing is effectively, we're putting that fiberglass skin on what is effectively like a 3/8 sheet of plywood wrapped around this trailer, which makes it, obviously you have gorgeous looks. They pair that up with those awesome frameless windows, but it makes it incredibly impact resistant. Like if you live in hail country, you don't want your trailer looking like Woody Woodpecker all over the side of this thing. That's one of the other benefits of Black Label. It's not just cosmetic. There are some really cool aspects here.
Now, once again, we already have a 26 DBH video that's pretty comprehensive. Pardon me. Early morning, I don't know. It's early enough. I don't know if they're frogs. Maybe I just have tadpoles in my throat. I don't know. I'll work that joke out of my own time because I don't feel that landed. I don't feel that landed at all. But at a glance, compared to the standard series, not a lot in the inside changes, but Black Label does a couple key things to help elevate, and they've done a little bit more in the 22 season than they did in the past. They have all, for a couple years here, they've done the solid surface kitchen countertop while retaining the sealed edge thermal foil countertop everywhere else, like you see right here next to us, as well as, in the bathroom, over here on the dining. You might notice how the dinette cushions lighten and brighten up a little bit. They're not like a different material or anything like that. They're not suddenly laced with vibranium or anything crazy. They're just lighter. But those two things they really do elevate the interior. But it's a few extra touches they're now doing in the bathroom and the bedroom that I'm really excited to show you. You got some serious Max Breeze windows happening over there. You got Mike, our quality control check-in guy, one of several actually, doing some active checks. The RV at the time of this film, he's literally not even unhooked from the delivery driver's truck. I just jump on stuff as soon as it lands. Now, this is a step-up slide. That's one of the differences between a Grey Wolf and a Cherokee. A Cherokee has a floor flush slide, which requires a bigger chassis, so it tends to sit higher and weigh more and cost a little more. This is a lighter weight system that, as long as you don't mind the little step-up bump right there, you can save a lot of weight and a lot of money and basically get the exact same floor plan. That's really the difference between Cherokee and Grey Wolf. Truly is just the slide out. Now, there might be a couple things like Cherokees tend to do floor ducted heating, whereas Grey Wolves do side ducted heating. And a couple little points here, to be fair. If I take a seat on the sofa, like let's get what are the Achilles heels of this camper out of the way. We are basically looking at all of the door side windowage right there from the living room. There's a good window in the bedroom. There's I'm going to say, unfortunately, good window in the bathroom. We'll touch on that in a minute. And this is going to be a neck wrecker floor plan for the entertainment center. That's going to be a problem for some people. This has a short camp queen with no opportunity for a longer bed. Those are the concern factors, I think, on this floor plan. if those aren't a big deal for you, then this might be a really, really good option for you. And I hope you appreciate the fact that we point out the good with the bad here at Haylett RV. We really want you to help you find, your second camper the first time. By the way, keep an eye on that just beautiful high contrast cutting board there. It's just a generic cutting board, but it blends, I think, so nicely with their color palette. Freedom Express now has a very similar color palette that maybe it's polarizing. It's not for everybody. I kind of like it. Down here, our converter, Cherokee's been doing this for a couple years. They are using lithium compatible converters. I believe there's a little selector switch inside. You tell the converter what kind of battery you're using, and you're good to go from there. But you might notice the battery disconnect, the little lightning fuel gauge next to it, the voltage monitor. Those are all aspects of the Cherokee Juice Pack. It is a simple battery tender system. It does have some upscale potential. So if you want to extend some dry camp time without necessarily needing to get into the realm of portable panels or portable inverter generators, something like that, you can do that. Although those things are always available. And hey, wouldn't you know it, those are all items that we can assist you with. Funny how that works, right? The ladder over here, it is nice that you don't have to throw the kids into the upper bed. What is nice, I mean, unless you want to. You remember Lord of the Rings? Gimli says, toss me, and then don't tell anybody about it. Sometimes I want to recreate that scene, but now my daughter's 11, and there's just no way I could heave-ho the day away with her any longer. One thing I want to mention, though, the dowel rod style ladder, it's a little less barefoot friendly, but for little kids getting up and down who don't, weigh more than they should, like me with my pandemic poundage body over here, it doesn't seem to bother them as much. I would really like it if that upper bunk window opened, but at least it's there for visual acuity, You've got USB plugs for the upper and lower beds, and then this guy up here, actually, you can see household outlet up top. I think this would probably be more the big kid's bed, would be my guess. Now, for privacy, what you can do here is if you want to just enclose the top bunk, you make the two curtains meet in the middle, and then the left-hand curtain, you just basically, you can like tuck it under the bunk mattress, or you can just kind of flip it up on the bunk mattress. Whatever works for you right there. And then for the lower bunk, you just use the left curtain normally, effectively. So they've done it a little bit different way from some other manufacturers, but they have found a way to give us, bunk privacy independence. You know what? A major feature here. I'm so sorry. I can't believe I didn't touch on this sooner. Instead of starting with a 13,500 BTU air conditioner and then saying, well, you could upgrade it to a larger 15K unit, Cherokee, on all of the Grey Wolves and Cherokee units, anything that's 8 foot wide, they just standard use a larger 15,000 BTU, and that's a Coleman air conditioner, which runs a little bit more quietly. One of the other interesting features here is it has a cold air dump, but I want to run you through something here. A little pro tip for you from your Uncle Josh. So if you're not familiar with the cold air dump feature, there's a little slat right here, and you see how these little guys opened up. What that will do is drop about 70% of the air conditioner's air, just dump it right here into the living room. Why would you want to do that? When you first get to your campsite, Mom, Dad, I'm hot. He's touching me. I want to watch Oprah. No, none of that. We don't want any of that, right? Especially that last one. So, what you can do is drop all the cold air right here, get them parked at like the dinette or something like that, get this main area kind of cooled down, and then you can flip those shut and start distributing that air more towards the ends of the RV. So that, during the day we get the living room a little more comfortable, and then by the evening hours, the bedroom, the bathroom, everything else has kind of had a chance to catch up. I see a lot of people come in with trades. They're air conditioners like that. And they say, I hope this one has a better air conditioner than the last one. That one barely worked. I couldn't feel anything up in the bedroom. I don't think enough people realize this. This is not some big major secret. I think that this is a symptom, though, of the fact that there are not enough dealerships properly educating their customers. And I can't tell you that I'm going to be able to cover every single nut, bolt, and widget every single time. But I am going to try to help where I can and at least try to do my part, But like I said, Black Label's not just an exterior package and, oh, we changed the countertop. Because the standard countertop's not bad, you know. There's some other aspects to it. And I think the most, like, what? Feature of the Black Label package now is actually not the fiberglass, but this, like, crazy luxury fifth wheel shower fixture here. And it's interesting. This is, like, really cool. But I think it's like sometimes it almost feels a little bit out of place. And a lot of people said, man, I don't know that I need all of that in a trailer like this. I'm not sure it's going to get right water pressure. Maybe something folks don't realize. Awesome toilet space, by the way. We'll come back to that. But RVs all are kind of regulated. Their plumbing systems are regulated for about the same PSI. So it doesn't matter if it's a giant luxury fifth wheel or this little one-slide Grey Wolf. You're going to get about the same water pressure going through there, or at least you should. You know, you're going to be limited a little bit on what's available. Now, this is 6.5 foot tall. I'm about 6'3". My head sits in the bubble in this one, but thank goodness that bubble is there so I can do my showering, you know. And in case you're doing your duty, you know, you've got the extra large vent fan there to keep everything exhausted. And like I said, this is totally fluffy friendly. This is seriously fluffy friendly right here because there's good leg room and there's absolutely nothing on either side of you that's blocking you from you know, doing your job with the butt napkins. This right here is the one little thing. Hey, Mike. Oh, he's camera shy, guys. The one little thing right here in the bathroom. I know that this is shade ready, so that you guys understand. It's like maybe, I don't know, $60, and they basically click in place, and you can have yourself a privacy shade. I've also seen people install them in the bottom so that they slide upward. You actually have the choice. You don't have to do just one or the other. Now, I'm actually going to take a step back here and climb into the Cherokee shub. You may have noticed it's not a shower, it's not a tub, it's a shub, just to kind of complete the visual before we, you know, milled back through that door. And I think Mike needs me for something, by the way. Now, as we back out of the bathroom there, you know, we've kind of find ourselves back in this space. And I think it's a good time to crack everything open, take a look at all the storage. But we're actually going to start over here on the dinette. Cherokee's been doing this for years. They have these, like, 40-inch full extension drawers here. You might notice they're not on roller glides, though. That's by intention. With a drawer that big hanging out over that much negative airspace, there just aren't a whole lot of drawer systems that are available that can hold that kind of potential weight. So, you know, it's just kind of one of those things you can slide it open, and because it can rest on the floor, you can handle some bigger things in there. Speaking of bigger things, that is a big pantry right next to that larger 10.7 cubic foot 12 volt DC compressor fridge. So the idea there is that is like the largest capacity you can fit into that kind of, like, you know, space, but it is travel safe. It is extremely fast cooling. It's an active compressor fridge, so it cools about 4 times more quickly than a passive absorption fridge. It'll use more power when you're off grid, so you might want to plan accordingly on that. It just all depends on how you're going to camp and what you may need to do with it. Now, I've popped the sink covers off here, and also moved the little cutting board backsplash around, because I really like to showcase how that can be dual-purposed, like they call it a backsplash. Frankly, I consider it a better side splash than a backsplash, because you know, the glass cooktop, when it folds up, it itself is a backsplash. It just seems more fitting to me that you block the side grease splatter that RV designers seem to think doesn't happen. They seem to think the laws of physics do not allow grease to splatter sideways, only backwards. I think any of us that have ever cooked bacon know that is not the case. And if I tuned out right there, it's because now I just want to go to Bob Evans and get some bacon. And I'm sure you obviously noticed those sliding pocket privacy doors, which is really nice to be able to kind of have a visual little break point there. You know, maybe you just gotta close the doors, put on a pair of pants, don't feel like traumatizing your kids or nothing like that. Now, the dinette folds down to like a 7-foot bed. The sofa folds down to a little sleeper. That's pretty pretty standard fare for trailers. In case you weren't aware, I guess I figured I'd mention it real quick. I do like this, though. The little shoe garage by the door below the little, electric space heater right there that we call a fireplace. You can, by the way, turn that on to heatless mode if you just want the visual effect without all the heat, because, it's like July and you're sweating your face off, or, well, maybe not with that bigger air conditioner, but you get what I'm saying. Now, you'll see a matching TV mount outside. The camper doesn't include a TV, because we've really found that rather than optioning one on, we can get you a larger or better, or sometimes both TV for the same or less money, effectively. So we've actually stopped optioning a lot of TVs into things as a result. By the way, little side note, the little hang tags that stick down off this little ceiling mounted subwoofer here, if they just barely brush your ear, I'm telling you, it feels just like a spider. I'm just letting you know, it will trigger that fight or flight response. I nearly decked a customer the other day because I was punching at invisible spiders, but neither here nor there. The wall panels and the ceiling panels both use this plastic T-mold trim here, and it clicks in place as opposed to, this is actually an area. A lot of people don't realize there can be areas where wood skeleton trailers, because even though this has fiberglass, Black Label's still a stick skeleton trailer. There are aspects of it that are, in a way, better and more effective than laminated trailers. They have different benefits, the two. Like, you can run outlets in the walls of a stick-built trailer very, very easily, because you got studs roughly every 16-inch on center. Instead of a sticker trim between these two wall boards, they can use this nice T-mold stuff here. Not every manufacturer does that, though. Wildwood's also good at that. Also, God forbid, let's say, just unfortunately, 2 or 3 years from now, something slips or Mother Nature sticks a, branch through your roof and you have a leak. With this being a wood stud trailer, you can basically pull down the wall panels, replace every wood stud as you like to, and rebuild the trailer to factory spec. Laminated trailer, you ain't doing that. And the cost, oh gosh. So once again, this is a Camp Queen. I do just want to make you aware of that. That's going to be a hiccup point for some other folks, but you're like, why would they do that? Well, to keep the trailer within a target length and weight range, they figure spend more of your time in the living room or outside, so that's where they focus this trailer. The bedroom is here to be just enough, and frankly, if you're gravity friendly like a lot of folks are, aka not super tall, it's going to work just fine. Now, Black Label, a couple little things they've done here is they've added those nice little either blue reading or white viewing lights here above the headboard area. And you can see that every Black Label now includes your very own Star Trek tribble. That, I don't know, they're like, stop saying that, Josh. It's supposed to represent, like, wolf fur. It's a gray wolf. And I'm like, everybody knows that's a tribble, right? And in terms of travel accessibility, this RV is truly about as good as it can possibly get, unless you have absolutely no slide. Because with the slide closed, you see, we can get right through here. You can get to the bedroom, you can get to everything in the kitchen. The only thing you lose is the bunk ladder, so I think that's fine. But one of the other things that I want to point out on this one is not just the fact that you have access here to the bathroom, but notice how the steps are not a fold-up step. You don't have to flip them into the RV in traveler storage mode.
Now, figuring out the difference between a standard series and a Black Label isn't exactly hard. A standard series with that corrugated aluminum skin, you can't literally see your reflection in it, and it doesn't have those sleek frameless windows. Like, it's very obvious, and it's interesting to me how it's the same trailer, but how the Black Label package it feels so transformative. It doesn't feel like the same RV to me anymore, which is why every year I go through and I end up recording 2 versions of the same trailer, because they don't read the same to me, if that makes any sense. Now, something that's interesting, you still have an aluminum front nose on this. That's actually not a fiberglass sweep, which is good, because when it's on a radius like that, aluminum can actually be stronger because it's thicker. That is a 67% thicker aluminum than you typically find on the sidewall of most stick and tin campers. So the entire thing is resistant to wind buffeting and stones being thrown at it. Black Label upgrades us to a handy power tongue jack up front, so when you're hooking up your weight distribution system, you don't got to get tennis elbow. And just to kind of make this even easier, on the Black Labels, whenever we can, I always like to outfit them with power stabilizer jacks. Just, you've got that smexy look. It just feels right to me. But the power stabilizer jacks, it doesn't have to be a Black Label RV to do that. If you want to apply those to a standard series stick and tin Grey Wolf, you can do that. There's nothing that says you can't. So just kind of keep that in mind. Now, it used to be years ago, and I'm getting kind of old in the RV industry, you know. The nice way to say it is experienced, but I'm been around a little while now. There's certainly people who have been doing this decades longer than me, but it used to be you got a choice. Either you get the second entry door in the back straight to the bathroom, so you cut down on all the foot traffic, or on a trailer this size, you could get some kind of camp kitchen with a little fridge and a cooker that the fridge also helps you cut down on foot traffic, you know, pulling dirt through your camper. Then Cherokee comes along and says, what if we did and instead of or? I like both. Don't you like both better? They've gone through a couple different outside cooker arrangements over the years, but regardless of what is there, you always have a little propane cooker hooker off the side so that, if you want to bring your own grill or griddle or something like that, you can do that. Nothing says you have to use theirs. I've seen some people pull those out. I've seen people do all kinds of things. I'd leave it personally, that's just me. A little mini fridge outside, once again, expanding our total cold storage, which this fridge, plus the fridge inside, gives us the total cold storage capacity of like a 4-door gas electric fridge freezer. That's no joke, Batman. I don't know why I always say Batman. I'm not even like that big of a Batman fan. Why am I still talking about this? Okay, moving on. This is technically an outside like camp shower, although you see another one of those on the other side of the RV. Its purpose here is like if you have a little hand wash basin, you could keep yourself cleaned up, but it's also to feed that ice maker. And that ice maker works extremely well. We had somebody who just didn't want one once, and they just wanted us to take it out. So we had an opportunity to play with and test one, and yeah, I found out as long as you got electricity and you got water, I don't care if you're outside and it's hot, you got ice. That thing cranks it out. The Black Label series also adds an extra floodlight above the entry door right there. And did you catch, as we've gone through this tour, or at the beginning of our footage when I give you that little floor plan and a flash, how these have a full viewing window on the inside, but you do still maintain good privacy outside unless it's backlit. If it's late at night and you have the lights on inside, people can actually see through there pretty well, and then you can't see them. So kind of keep that in mind. But something I really believe, like if the only thing stopping you from calling us today is, oh, it just doesn't have a shade in the door, you give us a call. That's easy stuff for us to handle, by the way. And remember that red little lever there on the door is a deadbolt switch, so you don't have to expose yourself to the neighbors, and I suppose unless that's your goal. Now, I mentioned travel accessibility earlier, and I mentioned how the bathroom door doesn't have fold-up stable steps. Sometimes people go, why don't they just use the same steps on every door? Some manufacturers do. Some don't. Some give them to you just on the main door, which is typically what Cherokee does. And they don't do this on purpose, but the way that it works out on this specific floor plan is, let's say you're parked somewhere like at a storage lot, and those storage lots will jam trailers within inches of one another where you can barely do a sideways two-step to get through it. You may not be able to fold down that stable step, but the fold out steps in the back you can get through, and as we saw, you can access the whole RV with the slide close. That's why I take the time to show you everything in road mode. There have also been some recent updates to some apps and some hardware and whatnot. Those rear LCI Insight cameras are now working better than they've ever worked before. They're syncing up easier. I am very happy to see that because they, when they first came out, it sounded great. And then after a little while, we started hearing reports from customers like these things are a little bit of a headache. And then credit to LCI and Cherokee for listening to the communication and getting that addressed. I also like the safety feature back here of not just the camera, but the third tail light, in case you've got a bunch of stuff, stacked up on top of that fold-down cargo rack right there. It's nice to have that extra tail light so that people behind you can see, hey, I'm stopping. Don't run into me here. Something I didn't talk about inside, and I probably should have, is because there is basically full storage under these bunks, although you do have to remember there is a little bit of space dedicated over here for like all of the water and electric runs that we're looking at right there where the outside shower hooks up. If you wanted to, if you're really looking for that office conversion function, this is one of those campers where if you pulled those bunks out, I think you could make yourself a neat little office desk space against that rear wall right there. Now, a couple other little details for you. The RV does have a fully walkable roof. Again, when you go to Black Label, you're not changing to like aluminum construction, and that really trips a lot of people up. And I want to make sure that we're clear on that kind of extra information. I absolutely want to earn someone's business, but I want to earn their business. I don't want to just get their business. There's a difference in there, I think, and making sure that you're getting the trailer that has the features, the equipment, the structure you're looking for. There's so many people who buy these out there every single day thinking, oh, that's a laminated trailer. It's not. Now, there's benefits to lamination, there's benefits to stick builds, and there's benefits to a hybrid build like we're looking at right here. And actually, that's another thing, wouldn't you know it? I have a full video on it, and I'll leave you a link for that in the description in case you're kind of curious about the differences. But the roof is fully walkable. Unfortunately, ladders are just straight not available here, even after market. The walls are just not back for them. And the underbelly of this is enclosed where the holding tanks are located. It's not a fully enclosed underbelly, but the part that matters, where all of your plumbing and your tanks are, that's protected. Sometimes people get weird about that. I don't really get it, but figured I'd put the information out there and you decide what works for you and what's, I don't know, weird for you. So, again, if you get a chance, I'll leave you a link in the video description. You can check out this one's standard series. And if you are actually looking for, like, the aluminum skeleton work, take a look at this one's coven. The, coven? Nope, that's you know, witches and warlocks and whatnot. This one's cousin, there we go, the Alpha Wolf 26 DBH. And a lot of people go, what is the difference between those? Check that video out, and that'll be very, I think, obvious to you once you've gone through that. And if you get a chance, let me know whether it's the standard series, the Black Label, or the Alpha laminated version of this. Which one would you go with and why? Always good for us to know, so we make sure that we're on the we're bringing you the right offerings, and I can keep making the right videos for you here at Haylett RV. If you like the way, like we point out the Camp Queen bed, the way that we point out the good with the bad, at least hit the like button on the video. And if you haven't done so, make sure you click that subscribe button to catch us on the next one. And as always, remember, we don't do hidden dealer fees. We just do everything else. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.